to Analytics with Nags. In this video, we're going to see about what is scattered bubble chart. It is called a scatter chart or a bubble chart, right? I will tell you why. And we are going to deep dive into this visual in Visuals with Nags series. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon for notification. Let's begin our today's topic. So when to use this visual? It's like scatter chart shows a relationship between two numerical values. Basically, you have numerical values and you want to see the relationship between those two. Then you can go for scatter chart. And a bubble chart is replaces the data points with the bubbles. Basically, once you put these two values in x-axis and y-axis, there will be a small bubble appearing, which is nothing but your data points. That is what your bubble chart becomes. And you can have a bubble size representing additional third data dimension to it. Say for example, I have set x-axis as cost price and y-axis as item quantity. Then each data points represents a bubble. Then I can change the size of the bubble, how much it has been sold based on the selling price, right? You can introduce a third dimension, or you can use the same dimension used in y-axis, right? Then you can use bubble size to be increased, so you are introducing a third dimension into it. To show patterns in a large data set, for example showing linear or non-linear trends, clusters or outliers. This is so important in case of scatter chart, because you have a huge data set and you want to compare the relationship between the identify the relationship between two numerical values. It is not possible with conventional bar chart or pie chart, because you say like the item quantity sold can be ranging from 1 to 100 or 1 to 300, whatever it can be, and the cost price can be different if you have huge products. So if you have to compare these two combination, you can find clusters in the sense which two combination between x and y axis you have more sales, forming a very big population. That is called a clusters. Outliers, something away from your populated region, one or two values that appear outside the combination, that is unexceptional cases where even the cost price is more. Say for example, 2000 or 3000, but whatever you are selling is like you are having some values between 600 to 1000, but some values it's appear 2000. So it is used to find errors in your data, also outliers. And also you can identify it is abnormal cases, right? So those kinds are called outliers. I will try to explain it in the graph. So these are the some of the use cases you can go for a scatter bubble chart. Let's jump into demo. I am in Power BI now. We are having the same Naga Garments data set. Today I'm going to find a relationship between cost price and item quantity, and I will use the bubble size for selling price. So based on your business, you can use similar relationship, because your business requires different numerical quantities to be compared, right? In that cases you can go for this chart. So scatter chart, first things first, let us try to drop this one here and use the cost price in the x-axis, then use the item quantity in the y-axis. I hope you can see here a single dot appearing. Okay, why? It is because both are summed. Okay, but I need to check different cost prices over here. In those cases I need to go for do not summarize. As soon as I do that, the data is splitted across different cost prices against item quantity. This one I do not want to make it as do not summarize, let it be a total quantity. Okay, now what this graph indicates to me is like this is a scatter chart, typical scatter chart, and also called as a bubble chart because each bubble represents a data point, meaning like for the cost price 700, there are 1232 products has been sold. So we can consider this doesn't have too much data points. That is why I have a very less combination here. Assume like you have a lot of options over different dots over here. This becomes one cluster, and you have different dots over. This becomes another cluster. Meaning like between 600 to 700, you have a lot of sales happening. If you have your cost price like 800, you have a lot of sales happening. But whereas this point is an outlier, because if you have a very less quantities are being sold, maybe they may consider it as a cheap product, or you need to focus on that, because all your products or quantities sold will be available between these 300 to 800, but one of the product is away from your usual population, right? So in that place you can identify either it can be error, or it can you need to take some corrective actions. Say for example, cost price is 100, item quantity 19 is sold, right? So these kind of things you can able to analyze here. You identifying a clusters. This is not having any cluster now, but assume you have a lot of data points here, then it becomes one cluster. Here it becomes another cluster. So this is the first point about this scatter chart. Now I can introduce this selling price over here, so that my bubble size will increase. So what it indicates, so my for the cost price 900, there are 1145 products sold. The total selling price is this. So based on the selling price, my bubble size also increase. The size of the bubble indicates the more the selling price, I mean to say the total is more. Here it is less, 3150 compared to this, so that's why the small bubble. Okay. Now, another important concept I want to understand, I mean, include is legend. Once you have a legend, based on the different categories, let me increase the legend size slightly. So, based on this legend, you can also further understand it better. Like you can take first case accessories. Accessories is not going beyond more than 400 products, whatever may be the reason. So it is not going beyond that group, and also it is not going beyond more than 700. 700 is the maximum cost price people are afford to buy the accessories. And in this case it is the semi formal, people are not buying beyond 600, because you can see 600 is the highest for semi formal, whereas the formal case, people are ready to buy even if the cost price is more, that is 1000. An interesting case over here is like casual wear. There is no products less than 700 for us. I mean, this Naga Garments is not selling anything less than 700 for casual wear. So they can think of, it's better to introduce some of the casual wear products, because it is the highest selling quantity, and even with this higher price like 600, 700, and it is 800 and 900. So if they introduce lesser price for casual wears, some of the quantities, I mean products, then the chances of getting the sales is more. So these kind of analysis quickly they can find insights, right? Everything is to analyze your data. So between two numerical quantities, it's not always tricky when you use a conventional bar chart or pie chart. So this will give you an option to analyze better. So what are some of the properties we can quickly check? Like we have shapes. Instead of circle or bubble, you can use this different shapes like square or triangle, some other shapes as well. And other properties are similar. You can change the colors here. These are some of the properties. Zoom slider is available for this visual, so you can zoom and focus on certain points. You only focus on here, you can set it default option over here, that is also possible. So other properties are common across other visuals, you can explore it always. I hope you understand about the scatter bubble chart, when to use it. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and comment below for queries. Do remember that data is your asset.